Well, hey there. Good morning, Lego fans. How you doing out there? Hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. One for the record books for sure. But hey, what do you say? Let's get into it. Let's start your week off right with some latest Lego news and rumors. So this is going to be kind of an interesting episode. I'm not going to lie. I just, if you listen to this podcast regularly, you know that I send out an episode every Monday and Wednesday, and I release the episode on my podcast platform at 5 a.m. in the morning. So honestly, when I record this is typically Sunday nights, right? That way I can be right up to the wire and get it done. Well, you should definitely like and subscribe and appreciate, because if you enjoy the podcast, I just got off a plane from San Diego because I got to go to my first ever Comic-Con. And, not just any Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic-Con. And it kind of all was a little serendipitous on how I was able to get my ticket and then get there. And I got there literally Wednesday evening and got off the airplane and went straight to the convention hall to do the Wednesday night preview. And I left this morning, Sunday morning as of my time, and just got back. I scarfed down a little bit of dinner and I was like, I need to do Monday's podcast because there's some crazy new Lego news and rumors. So if I seem a little out of it or a little just kind of wonky or more than normal, I guess, yeah, like I say, I'm running on fumes right now, but in the best of ways, for sure. So anyway, I do want to say thank you. No matter how you're listening to this podcast, whether it is on a podcast platform, I greatly appreciate that, or you're a YouTube person and you like checking out the YouTube page. You want to see the videos. I appreciate you if you're tuning in that way. I will say, typically, if you watch the video podcast, you'll know I have a Lego set that is normally by me as I do an episode. And today, I don't have Lego. I have a couple of the exclusives I got when I was in San Diego for actual Comic-Con, which I'm going to get into all of that and give you the first-hand account, because there were massive drops that happened this last weekend. Some really, first look images and things I didn't even know we were going to get to see, and I just kind of stumbled upon. Like Wednesday night I walked in and I turned the corner and got over to the LegoCon part where there's, first off, if you've ever been to San Diego, it's in the giant San Diego Convention Center, right? This thing is like half a kilometer long. And you get into the floor, which everybody, you see all the big crowds and all the cosplay and everything. That's where all the sales and all the action happens, right? And so the goal Wednesday is it's just the floor is open on Wednesday night. So it's like you get straight to the booth that you want to see in case there are some limited exclusives or things that you could get. So, for example, in Comic-Con history, this is where we get the start of Lego brickheads, like 2016. If you got to go to that Comic-Con and you managed to get your hands on those brickheads, they were an incredible start. And on the resale market, on the investor standpoint of it, they're typically like $700 to $1,000 for a brickhead, which is just honestly is a little absurd. But just goes to show you, like, it's a pretty crazy event. And even more so now, it's more pop culture than Comic-Con. But I digress. So I get there Wednesday night, and I go in. I drop my suitcase off at a convenience store because they hold on to your suitcases. You just pay like $8 and they hold on to it. So that way I can get straight to the convention center. And I go in and I hit the Lego part where the entire convention center, which I was talking about, is done in Lego. And it's huge. It's like 20 feet long. It is a massive Lego-made convention center. In fact, it's the thumbnail that you're looking at right now if you tuned in on the YouTube page. But around that were all the display cases with all of the sets set up. And I'm just like, first I asked the guy, hey, you guys selling anything this year? And he's like, no, we don't got anything for sale. Any exclusive or anything? Oh, we got some torsos, but that's going to be on Insiders. So there was nothing to buy. So at that point, you lower your stress level a little bit, like, oh my God, I got to be first in line. But then just going to look at the sets, which was so exciting. And I will tell you, this was really the highlight in terms of Lego for me for Comic-Con, because I got to see the new Game Boy, which I'm going to talk about, the new Emerald City set, which I thought looked fantastic, all the whole new Wicked lineup. Those made their Comic-Con debuts, or, first images were there. So Wednesday night, I was like, I got to be finally one of the first people that aren't LAN members that actually get to see a set off embargo. The Star Wars lineup with the new UCS ATST, that looked fantastic. The Stranger Things brickheads, and then Arkham Asylum. To see Arkham Asylum up, it was just really cool looking modular style set. So here's what I'm going to do. This episode, I'm going to give you the highlights. I'm going to give you the lowlights. I'm going to talk specifically about the sets I saw, as well as the panels I sat in on. And then we're going to end this episode off, as always, with some rumors. And so you're going to want to stick around till the end, because I've got two juicy rumors that are going around right now about two exclusive sets. And I will tell you, one is in particular, I think, well, both are weird, but one in particular concerning the Death Star. So stick around this whole episode. I want to talk about those rumors at the end. But anyway, getting back to Comic-Con, highlights. Well, I mean, it was my first Comic-Con, so just being there was a highlight. Let me preface with, it was an incredible event. I had a great time. I am a pop culture nerd. I am a comic book nerd. So to me, going to Lego was first, obviously, but I got to sit in on the Todd McFarlane panel, the Rob Liefeld panel, the Robert Hickman panel. If you don't know these people, Todd McFarlane is the guy who co-created Venom, created Spawn. Rob Liefeld is the guy who created Cable and Deadpool. Robert Hickman is the guy behind The Walking Dead and Invincible, and I love Invincible, and that's what I actually have next to me is an Invincible card set that I bought there that I'm really excited about, because I do love my cards as well. So the experience was amazing. To sit down on the panels, to listen to these people, got some autographed comic books, all that kind of stuff was amazing. Excuse me. So in general, the experience was a highlight. If you ever get a chance to go in your life, can't recommend it enough. Like, I would imagine, because I saw some people who had been going there for 15 or 20 years. I actually have a family member who's been going there for a long time. And they were like, it's not like it was a decade ago, which may be the case, but I had nothing to compare it to. So I thought it was great. And just to see the Lego sets and to see all the new looks, I just thought was great. But as far as lowlights go, I'm going to talk about Lego specifically here. There were no real promos or exclusives. If you didn't go to Comic-Con, that's actually probably a highlight for you, because it's just something you couldn't get your hands on. But, who doesn't want a Barb minifig or some Lord of the Rings minifigs or something like that? It's just one Comic-Con Lego exclusive. I've just always wanted to get my hands on one, and I could just never afford it. So to not have any of that available, I mean, kind of a low light. If you're there, like if you've actually made the trip and they don't have anything, not only as an exclusive, they didn't have anything for sale. Like, you couldn't make any Lego purchases whatsoever. So I was like, okay, cool. They had pop pins, so you could get different pop pins each day, but that's not really my deal. So I guess that is an exclusive, but whatever. It wasn't Lego. And so they're really, besides taking pictures of the new sets, there wasn't much to do at the booth. It was like, oh, I saw it and it was cool Wednesday night, but I spent my time pretty much everywhere else during Comic-Con because there wasn't much to do at the Lego booth itself. And then, in addition to that, there weren't many Lego panels. I think there were only two. There was a Lego Ninjago panel, which talked about, Ninjago, Dragons Rising, I believe is coming back for a 4th season. But I'm not super into Ninjago, so I didn't sit in on that panel. But the other panel was the Lego Masters panel. And it was fun because one of the moderator was from Brothers Brick, and so he did a good job. And they introduced all three of the Lego Masters finalists here in America for season 5, which, by the way, give you this plug. It's tonight. So if you love Lego Masters, don't forget to tune in. The season finale is happening tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time, and it should be a good one. I'm particularly excited because two of the teams are from Texas, and one of the teams is from my hometown of Houston. You know, the Anthony and Joe, like, to me, I think they're the favorites. I'm going to put it out there right now. I think they're going to be the ones that win it all. I don't think it's going to be your dark horses. I don't think the brothers are going to do it. I think Anthony and Joe have got this one, but all three pairs were up there, and the Lego Masters producers were up there as well. So that was cool to listen to them, to listen to their experiences, to listen to their stories. But let's be real. Jamie wasn't there. Amy wasn't there, and there was no Will Arnett, you know, maybe because it's like his last season, I guess. We're getting Nick Cannon here the next season, but it's like the celeb star power was not there for anything Lego-wise. And so in that regard, honestly, if you went to San Diego Comic-Con this year just for Lego, I think you probably were going to be let down, honestly. Now, like I say, good news is I like a lot of pop culture stuff. I love action figures. I love cards. Love comics. I got to see my first ever Actions Comics #1 in person, as well as Detective Comics #27 in person. If you know anything about comics, leave a comment down below. Do you know whose first appearances were in both of those comics? We're talking comics from the 1930s, y'all. I'm just going to tell you, the Action Comics #1 I saw was like a $2.5 million comic for sale, which was crazy. The other one I saw was like $625,000 for sale. There was an entire case of not just those two, but X-Men, Hulk, Amazing Fantasy 15, Avengers #1. Like, it was... From a comic standpoint, it was incredible. So that was really cool. So, but to get back to Lego, sorry, because I could talk about Comic-Con a lot. Like, I could give you tips and tricks, all the things I learned, and the seedy motel that I stayed at, and the trolley that I took every day from almost the U.S.-Mexico border, and the experience. And it was fun, and it was cool, and I am exhausted right now, but I want to talk about Lego. And specifically, what I think is the highlight for me. Most people, I think, are going to say Arkham Asylum. But I got to be real with you. The highlight for me, honestly, was seeing the new Lego Game Boy. It's set 72046. I will try and throw up some pictures, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired and I'm editing fast. So if you're tuning in on the YouTube page and you don't see the normal amount of stuff that I put in with these videos, sorry. I'm just going to apologize in advance. You'll just have to do what my podcast listeners do and just hear my sweet, sultry voice and just have to imagine it instead. But the Nintendo Game Boy. On the page, it doesn't sound very impressive, and it sounds really expensive. 421 pieces, $60, not coming out till October. Like, it doesn't sound very exciting. But to see it in person, I was like, oh. Like, every time I get let down by a Star Wars set lately, it's the Nintendo and Super Mario sets that pick up all the slack. It is such an accurate looking Game Boy. You millennials out there, you Gen Xers, you Zennials like me, I think you're going to be greatly satisfied. Like I say, you've got official images, got a couple I'm showing you now. You can also go to lego.com and look at them, but seeing it in person, it was the right size. The cartridges fit. You've got a Legend of Zelda cartridge, classic, a Super Mario cartridge, classic, and you've got the Nintendo part. And it works where you It's like the old school where you use the light and you turn it up and down and it just looks like it's working. And so the new pieces they have to represent the Game Boy screen, I just thought were fantastic. And all the little buttons, it's spot on. It's absolutely spot on. And I think it is a great looking set. And I can see honestly with those new pieces why they ended up charging $60. Now granted, it is still a lot of price per piece, but overall, I'm going to own it day one. But again, it doesn't come out until October 1st, so it was really cool just to see it. Like, to see it here a full couple months ahead of its release was just, it's insane, you know? But not far behind it was Arkham Asylum. Seeing official pictures of that is cool, but to see it in person, like modular builders, Lego City builders are going to be really excited about Arkham Asylum because it just will fit so well into those Lego cities. Plus, it's got 16 minifigs. So if you don't know about Arkham Asylum, it's set 76,300, almost 3,000 pieces, and it's going to cost $300. Okay, so about 10 cents per piece, which is right on about average. It's going to be releasing here for pre-orders. If you pre-order it today, which you can, shipments go out September 9th. But the pull of this set is both the building itself, built in a modular style, not a facade, not a Draco Manor facade ugliness, but actually a modular style building, which looks really good. It's set up like a corner build where you've got the gloomy gate where it says Arkham above it, and then you can go into the facility itself. But again, it's got 16 minifigs. Now, some people might not be super excited because I want to say about half of the villains' minifigs are in orange jumpsuits. So I can see how people be like, oh, it's Killer Croc, but he's in an orange jumpsuit rather than his Killer Croc outfit. Or it's the Joker, but instead of the Joker outfit, he's in an orange jumpsuit. So I think some people might be let down a little bit by that, but overall, just a very solid standalone set. Also, if you do want to see videos of any of these, I did on my YouTube page over the last 3 or 4 days. I put out a whole bunch of shorts. So if you want to see my initial reactions on any of this stuff, just go to the Imagination Brick Shop at YouTube and you can see all those shorts and it will show you everything that I'm talking about today as well. So, and those were in the front part of the display. Well, what you do is when you're walking around down the aisle in the Lego bit, in the Lego booth, you actually had to walk behind an area. And when you turn the corner, in the back on full display was all of the Star Wars and all of the Wicked. Okay, so you had a K2SO. Oh man, I really am tired. The robot, the droid from Andor, K2SO? I'm sorry guys if I'm messing that up. Like I said, I'm a little brain farting, but there was a full-size droid from Andor that was amazing looking. You get your picture by it. And then right next to it was the cabinet with all of the Star Wars sets. And so you had Wicket, which is a newer set, and then at the very top you had the ATST. And I really like it. You know, it's only 1,518 pieces for $200. So Star Wars continuing to be way too much money for what you're getting in gray. But other than that, like, it's a good looking set. And when was the last time we've had an ATST UCS set? I don't know if we've ever had one. I'm trying to think. We've had some that could be considered UCS, but not really. I think this is the first official one. And so it's cool to have not a rehash, but an original vehicle that is an iconic vehicle, that I would consider that a vehicle, just like the AT-AT. So, again, it's $200. It's actually going to come out here August 1st and has a little minifig that goes with the placard as well. So that was neat. But then next to Star Wars, you had the giant case with all of the new Wicked sets. And next to those were Alphaba and Galinda done in giant, they full-size human brick built. And those were really cool to see. But at the center of all of these Wicked sets was the City of Oz, the Emerald City wall art. It's set 75685. Again, another 1,500 piece set, $160, so much better price than the ATST, and it's got 6 minifigs. And that's an important note because all of the Wicked sets are all mini dolls sets, but right in the middle, you've got a minifig set. So both parties are happy. Me, the minifig lover, I'm happy because I've got all the characters from Oz and Wicked in minifig, and all the people who love mini dolls get all of their mini dolls. So everybody's satisfied. Plus, if that wasn't all, you had a couple brickheads underneath it with Alphaba and Glinda. So all the Wicked sets were really, really cool. And then if, maybe Wicked brickheads aren't your thing, right next to Arkham Asylum, they also had the Stranger Things brickheads. They had it's a 4-pack, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will. And thankfully, they kept it at $40, so typical brickhead set, but it was also cool to finally get some more Stranger Things Legos. So that was really cool. Now, don't forget, if you're interested in any of these sets that are coming out in August, as of right now, we finally have official images of this as well. It's the August gift with purchase, and that's set 40760, and that is the Peely and Cuddle Fortnite brickheads. So if you spend $130 or more, you are eligible to get that gift with purchase. So just to kind of sweeten the deal a little bit, that was how they did a Fortnite gift with purchase last year, so it's good to see them repeating that as well. But there you go. That was the experience. That was the San Diego Comic-Con experience. Both amazing in that, like I said, it's an experience, right? There were so many panels and so many people, and the cosplay was so good. If you look online anywhere at San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to be pictures of this 12-foot tall Galactus that was walking around. I got to tell you, seeing Galactus in person, that 12-foot tall cosplay figure, he definitely stole the show for sure. But there was a guy running around in a lightsaber that was like a 12-foot tall inflatable lightsaber. So that was pretty funny. But just, it was really cool. I was so excited, like I say. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. This isn't a norm for me, so I'm not like San Diego Comic-Con guy. I got lucky, and the stars aligned, and I got to go. So anyway, I promised you we would finish this episode with some rumors. And true to my word, I got 2 rumors I want to start with. One is a rumor, and I'm going to say it's a rumor because I refuse to believe this yet, and it concerns the Death Star. We're going to get a 9,000 piece, $1,000 40 minifig Death Star here in October, right? People are telling online now that it's not a Death Star. Like it's not a spherical Death Star like the other 2 Death Stars that we've had. I thought it would be a combination of the 2. Like the exterior looks like the Death Star 2, which we had the UCS Death Star 2, so you could get a nice display set, but that it would open up and the interiors would be a lot more detailed rooms like the Play Scale 10188 Death Star, the more recent one. But what people are saying now is that it's not spherical. It's going to be a giant rectangle. Like when you think of like the Batcave set that came out, like that's what it's going to be with the Death Star. It's going to be like 27 inches wide, I guess, and 37 inches long. I'm not sure. And then like 10.5 inches high. It can't be right. Like, I refuse to believe this, that Lego, first off, would just be dumb enough to do this. And I'm not afraid to say that because the pictures had better blow me away. Because if that comes to pass, in some ways I'm like kind of excited because I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I don't have to waste $1,000 because also we had leaks of some of the minifigures, and I'm going to show you some of the pictures of the leaks of the minifigs. The minifig selection is fine, but it doesn't blow my mind by any means. And so if this is like an average minifig selection intermixed with a diorama style Death Star, who's going to do that? Who's going to buy that? Like, let me know in the comments. If the Death Star is a giant rectangle that is a diorama with all sorts of different scenes from the Death Star, are you going to buy it? Like, is that like, you're like, yes, finally, my time has come, diorama king. Like, leave me a comment below. Am I losing my brain? Because I think and hope whoever designed it, I shouldn't say hope because that's mean, but I really think that whoever spearheaded this, like if that's all comes to fruition, I think they're going to probably lose their job. Because I want to cuss so bad right now, would go, yeah, you know what? That's what they want. That's what the fans want. Let's put it out there. And like it's going to come out and it's not going to sell. And they're going to be like, oh, oops. Like besides the hype train, I don't know, man. Like it's Jason Bourne versus MJF. Like that's what this reminds me of right now. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to get you the one other super weird rumor that's happened over the weekend because, like I say, I'm tired. I don't call this a day. I still have to edit this video and get it out to y'all and get it posted on the podcast platform as well. So I still got stuff to do once this is done. But the other rumor, I'm just going to call it the UCS, even though it doesn't actually say UCS, fish tank. Yeah, fish tank. So that in of itself, you're like, okay, cool, fish tank. Like we had like a 3-in-1 fish tank not too long ago. It was a cool looking set. Like it's a nice concept. Here's the thing. Ready? Here's the stats for the upcoming fish tank rumors. It's set 10366. 4,154 pieces for $500. Coming out this November. Like, what? What? Like a $500 fish tank? Again, am I losing my mind? Am I losing touch? Am I just coming off the plane and like I just have like brain fog? A $500 fish tank? So I'm going to be like, it's November, right? I'm going to go, standing in Lego. Do I get the USS Enterprise? It's $400. Or I could spend $100 more and fish tank. Hell yeah. Like it just, both these rumors are pretty much the weirdest rumors I've ever heard of. So we're just going to have to see. Please, again, let me know in the comments below. Like, what do you think? Like a $500 fish tank. Is that your jam? Like I actually had a fish tank in my house for a while. I love fish. It's great. But do I want to spend $500 on a Lego fish tank? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe it's like waterproof and you can actually put fish in it. Wouldn't that be an interesting concept? So I guess ultimately Lego, it's very brave of you what you're trying to do. Very unique concept, very unique ideas, but we'll see if push comes to shove, these are actually good ideas, you know, because sometimes just because it's an idea that's different doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So anyway, all right, well, with that, I'm going to call it here. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope your week goes great. I know mine, I've got a crazy week again this week, this Wednesday. I hope you tune on in because I got a fun one coming up for a Wild Card Wednesday. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's talking about my personal big old collection here and some top 10s in it. So I hope you tune in for Wednesday. Again, I appreciate you so much for listening in. And until Wednesday, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. It's supposed to